Hi everyone. Guess what day it is? It is October. So, as much as I didn't want to wait until October to get these next set of videos edited, it is October. September came and went, and here we are in October. But I do have a treat for everybody because there's a lot of footage in July. I might even have to split July up into 3 videos because this first half of July, because we have a lot of vacation footage, we have like 45 minutes of video, and that's just a lot to put in one video, to be honest. So let's get started and let me take you through July. Hi, today is July 4th, and I did my work already today, checked in with everything, and I'm actually editing the second half of May videos right now, but I'm taking like a little interim because I am going to re-henna my hair today. The last time I did it was April 20th, so it's been more than 2 months and my roots are pretty intense. I think like right here, this patch is like 80% gray, and like it's just kind of reality check, because part of me feels like, oh, I'll never age, when I was like in my 20s, and now that I'm in my mid 30s, I can see my aging, but I'm also trying to like embrace it and go with the flow and live life. So yeah, and so I'm redoing my hair in preparation for Mexico. It is probably gonna be one of our final like trips together, just me and Josue, because we are actively trying to get ourselves as healthy as possible, to get pregnant whenever God wills it, and we'll go with that. And then that whole thing, I bet I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts on it to share later on. But today I will share my henna hair day. So I've already prepared the henna. It's right here, and it's been kind of like curing in the fridge for the last 5 hours or so, and yeah, now we're ready to apply it. And then after this, it will be my first time trying to do indigo on top of it, because I don't really like the red color and I'd rather have dark hair. And then maybe in the future I can go that whole like really pretty gray thing and transition there. Right now we will continue with the hair dyeing, but at least not with any additional chemicals. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so if my title didn't give it away already, July's big event was me and Josue's trip to Mexico to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Our 1-year anniversary was technically like March, April when we actually got married, but we decided to go to Mexico in July because it's nice, it's summer, and it was kind of like our last getaway before we really are settling down and seriously trying to start a family. But anyway, I dyed my hair with henna. I've been making a concerted effort to no longer dye my hair with box dyes. Prior to switching back to henna, I think for a whole 2 years, I was using the Speedy hair color, like that Japanese brand. And then over time, my scalp, I always have trouble with this word. Is it scalp or scalp? I always get it mixed up. Anyway, it was starting to get really irritated, so I switched back to henna. And before, when I lived at home, Mom would help me, and so now I have to be a big girl now and do it myself, but thanks to my mom for helping me all those years when I was doing henna. I didn't like, or I should say the reason why I stopped using henna for a while was I didn't like how red it made my hair. I just don't like that look. I like a darker look. So this time in July was my first time trying to do a henna and then an indigo application to try to reduce the red color. And so the footage right before, I had the henna on my hair for 2 hours, washed it all out, and then I got that red color. And this was my first time making indigo paste. I learned after this application that I didn't really add enough water, which is why it looks so thick and just really, really, really thick and pasty. But I applied it anyway. And then I went ahead and applied it to my hair. I did not do like in between because I didn't want it to dry out. But this compared to henna was much drier. Maybe the next time I do this, I'll put more liquid so it spreads easier. Hopefully this works. We'll see. Pray that the color sticks. Okay, bye. So we are finally done with today's Project Hair and Indigo, wait, what did I say? Project Henna Hair and Indigo Day. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I think next time, I know now I didn't really make the indigo paste liquidy enough. Like the consistency was still kind of thick, so I didn't apply it as evenly as the henna. It still worked, but you can see some of the reds kind of shines through still. It's definitely more muted than before and more of a brown. So the quick and dirty summary of all of that was 5 hours later, my goal was achieved. Indigo worked and my hair was no longer bright red, and instead I have this more of this auburny brown chestnut color, which I'm very satisfied with. I actually just had my second hair session like 2 weeks ago and I did the exact same thing. I added more water to the indigo and it was a lot easier to apply. I haven't really gotten to like a dark black color. I think it just won't work on my hair though, to be honest, but I'll keep you guys posted. 2 days later, I did get a little bit of shopping done and got myself some new clothes. I was still getting used to dressing myself because I haven't shopped for anything in a long time, but I did get some things. So, success. Okay, and now we can finally get into the meat of the video, which is our trip. July 8th was when we set off for our 1-year anniversary vacation. Enjoy. It's already gone. We arrived at SFO first. We had a connecting flight, so it was SFO to LA, and then from LA we were gonna fly to Mexico. So had a little bit of food really, really early in the morning, and then we took our flight, landed in LA. We are now in layover for 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah. Honestly, traveling is really fun because even getting to the airport and being in layover and getting on the airplane is always so much fun, the experience itself. But 3 hours later, we finally landed and our transporter was right there to pick us up. He was really nice, but do be aware because I learned that in Mexico, there are lots of other companies who are trying to vie for your business and they will confuse you on purpose and try to sell you services. I guess that's not really different than China, so you just really have to know where you're going and not let people misdirect you, because that's what almost happened. Luckily, Josue speaks Spanish. I think if I was here by myself, I would have been completely taken advantage of.
Philippines.
You know.
No, Philippines. Son unos islas cerca China.
Almost 12 hours later, we finally made it. The room was super cool. When we walked in, we couldn't believe how spacious it was. It had a dining area, a kind of living room lounge area with a TV. Then you have the bedroom area with another TV and a super huge showering get ready area. This nice full length mirror, a bathroom, the closet with a his and her section, a walk-in shower. This had 2 shower heads, like one overhead and another like spout thing, a bathtub that we never got to use, and out to the outside of the room, it was a balcony overlooking the rest of the resort. They even had a hot tub outside, which again, we never used because we were super spoiled and there were other bodies of water to play in. Since it was already so late into the afternoon, we decided to just chill out, enjoy the room, have some coffee before dinner time. And Josue can never help himself if the room has a little coffee maker. And so we each made a cup of espresso and enjoyed. So for that second day, we decided to start off with a morning workout bright and early, and we weren't the only ones with that idea. That little gym center was actually quite full, kind of busy. There were a couple of these cable machines, like the one I'm on now. There was like a leg press machine, a couple treadmills, and then a free weight area. And you can see people like in that workout mirror kind of working out. So there were quite some people, but we ended up getting a fairly good workout in. We did some upper body, some lower body. Josue was the one leading us through all of the different exercises, and we got some sweat on. I'll go ahead and take this time to recap a little bit about where I was in my overall fitness and health journey. So like I mentioned in the previous video, I had started with Josue some fertility coaching, and they gave me some guidelines to follow as far as like not overstressing my body with exercise. And it did feel more in line with what my body needed, because some days I was just so tired, I didn't want to lift heavy and I did want to walk. So I really took some time away from heavy lifting at the gym. And this day at this gym, I was just picking weights that felt good, felt challenging, but not so much where I felt like my body was super, super straining. You can even see my stomach. Like I, longest time, struggled with like a bloated gut, bloated belly. And during the course of my bulking phase, I still struggled with that a lot. So I focused on trying to eat foods or just being more mindful of the foods that I was eating to not upset my stomach. And I wasn't so closely tracking all of my calories either. I had switched more again into intuitive eating, and plus like we were on vacation, so I pretty much just tried to focus on eating more protein. I really avoided carbs and gluten-based products because my stomach typically doesn't like that stuff anyway. And that's mostly how I spent my time eating while in Mexico. After our workout, we headed to the buffet. I didn't take my camera out to actually show the different types of food, but overall, I thought the selection was fairly good. And they always had some fresh fish as well, which I helped myself to every day. Too bad I didn't get any footage of our spa experience. I don't think I captured any of that in this whole vacation, but let me tell you, if you ever go to a resort, you definitely need to invest in going to the spa. Anyway, so day 3, morning of day 3, they surprised us, or I should say, they planned for us an anniversary breakfast delivered to our room. You saw all of the different foods that we got. It was part of a set menu. Totally worth it. We got to just stay in bed, stay in our nice comfy white robes, and we ate the best breakfast ever. So after that, we had planned that we were gonna go into town and visit the art walk. This was Thursday, and every Thursday they have a cute little downtown setup where a bunch of local artists and craftsmen come and set up shop. We had a lot of fun walking through the booths and checking out everybody's art. We didn't buy anything because a lot of the pieces were really huge, but we did get to enjoy and check out the local art scene and walked around the town a little bit.
We'll give him a buck.
right, so this is the perfect place for me to end part 1 of our first half of July, which started in Mexico. So again, we are on day 3 of our Mexico trip. It is Thursday, and now for obvious reasons, I do not have footage of the following story, so I'll briefly summarize it for you guys. Thursday night, Mariachi, they also had food and a lot of different like traditional Mexican food, including roasted peppers. I ate what I thought was a roasted bell pepper was actually a roasted habanero pepper. It was super spicy, and I had a vasovagal response and I fainted that night. I was on the floor. Unfortunately, garnered a lot of attention. I was taken to the emergency room, and my poor husband had to go through the whole thing and thought I was gonna die on him. Luckily, I'm fine. We got home, and we got to enjoy the rest of our vacation. So that was the short story. I'll see you in my next video.